Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. All right, turning the music down a little. So, I hope you read the title. Interested in what's going on. Is that you and me?
That's my phone.
Oh, okay.
Signal.
All right. So, here's the thing, people. The U.S. Navy is going to release a lot of UFO files now. For 2 years ago, they said they wanted everybody to send them their pictures and what they see and what they hear and all that kind of stuff. So they kept it quiet, but now it seems like they might release everything that they have, which is a good thing. It's not bringing what certain people want called disclosure, but it'll bring a little more truth out to the real world so that they can go out and see UFO if you want, and not go to say that you're crazy or anything else along the way. But let me see if I can show the article. Hold on.
Well, while Tommy's doing that, hi everybody. I'm Tina Brad here in the UK from Southampton. We've got a bit of a lineup with you tonight. Yeah, comments already in our chat room, and we're off from there. It's like a running start. A few things this week. Me and Tommy like to go a bit hardcore, and we're getting there and we ask the questions. I just wanted, before Tommy starts, I have taken a bit of stick this week. It seems to be building up since I said that I was going to put on the Encounters event. But because I've been an abductee and I've been deemed it's negative, aliens aren't negative, a kind of thing. So some of the SETI gentleman referred to himself as, I should check the SETI site and I should tell my intentions. And I'm like, well, I do. And I'm too, the aliens aren't negative. And I said, well, I can only tell my side of the story. So I can't say it's all been sweetness and light. I can't say they're evil because I don't know that. I can only tell you what has happened to me and how I feel about that. So it's not that I'm negative. I point out the facts that have happened to me and my side of the story. Now, to be attacked by other people that want to meet aliens isn't really a good thing. I've been through people that made up stories, people that have tried to diss my speakers, been disrespectful to me. I've even had threats. So, for someone who's come forward, been honest and told people what's happened, doesn't matter if they like or not, this is what's happened. My story's not going to change. It's my side of the story. This is what's happened to me, and this is my account. So nothing's going to change. And like I said, it can't be positive and like 24/7. Otherwise, there wouldn't be two sides to any coin, and there'd be no balance. What has happened to me is what has happened to me. It's not been made up. It's been recorded, and that's kind of it. Unless you've been, laid in my shoes and had chunks cut out of you and children taken ripped away from you and have been experimented on and taken as a child. I don't think that gives you the right to say things and nasty things that to me or my family. It's a different matter for people's family, but for me, just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't make it any less the truth. Just because you would like to think that all aliens are brightness and light, they may be, but the ones that had taken me were not. So sorry, Tommy, over to you.
No, sorry about that. Tina is so right. Nobody has the right to do these things that they're doing. But here's a problem. It's not only the government that's interfering. It's people that work for people. Now, like Stephen Greer has his own cult following. Now, the ESETI Ranch, James Gillen, he has his own following. I know I got into a big discussion with him because he came out to Hawaii and everything else. His cult group of people were attacking me for about maybe 4 or 5 months, all different ones. When you have to have somebody defend you, it's pretty sad. You stand up for what you believe in. That's all you can do. People don't like it. Tough. Don't listen. And when people attack you because you have something happen to you, well, I don't want the world to know that. Well, that's your problem too. The world should
it's not as if
always
I'm
have...
attacking these ESETI people or these CE5 groups. I'm not attacking them. So why are they attacking me? Am I attacking them every day saying you're wasting your time, you're calling in bad aliens that are going to attack us and blow the world up? No, I'm not saying that. So what gives them the right to attack me? Because I'm telling the truth? When was their experience? Sorry, Tommy.
Uh, okay, here's the thing, because I've been involved with that on and off. Sergeant 18 and I worked together for almost not 8 or 9 years, but in the interim, the police left us alone. Whatever his thing over the police was, they never interfered. We could be speeding down the road, they pull us over, and he would go, "I'm Sergeant 18," and the cops would just drive away. So whatever his connection with that was important, but now he's disappeared again. He removed all our videos, took everything we did down, everything he put up down. Uh, and I truly feel he was paid off, like so many other people say they are or were or going to be, because we got a letter maybe, let's see, 22 years ago. I can show you the letter. It came from NASA, warning us not to get interfere with what's happening in the UFO world. Sit back and watch. We don't have the right to interfere. And it said, this is not a threat, just a warning. The guy that sent us that letter ended up disappearing 6 months later. And he was one of the top people in NASA. So, people, when they don't want the truth out, which is like MJ-12 and people involved with that, Men in Black, they do what they want. People don't realize, like Stephen Greer comes out with the most, I would smack him if I could, right across his face, and you're a freaking liar. I said, I challenge you to the truth any day of your life. He came out and said the government offered him $2 billion to shut up. $2 billion. Really? The whole lobster industry in a year doesn't even make $1 billion. So they're going to pay him that kind of money for what? To shut up about what? Talking to aliens? Let him go ahead. If he was telling the truth, he wouldn't be out there. All my friends involved in the UFO world, the top speakers out there, are gone. All right? None of the ones out there right now have been around for a really long time, except the ones you see sitting in their room talking about their book they put out or something like that. But they're not out mainstream. I mean, when Phil Snyder went around, he went around publicly around the United States the best he could for how many months before they killed him. So, the truth gets out a little bit, and when it does, then it gets stopped right away. John Ford, people, check him out. He's in the nut house since 1996. He shot the best video, and I'm not making this up. I saw the video. The best video ever taken of a UFO on the ground. Smashed. All right. It was on Long Island. I went out to where the ship crashed. All right. He's in the nut house, and every year the government comes out. They have to reevaluate him because he's supposed to go to trial. They said he had a barrel of uranium, and he was going to kill Congress or people in the government by putting it in their toothpaste. They couldn't make up a better story than that. If I had a barrel of uranium, you think I'd go in there and scoop up a little to go to somebody's house and put it in their toothpaste? Do you even think that's even feasible? You had a spacesuit and all this other stuff to get near it? What kind of... But people believe these stories. I just want to show you something. I'm debating my friend, but she believes everything she reads. But this book, I don't know if you could read it. If you could read that. Where did the towers go? It goes into all the facts in detail. This girl is a bachelor's, an MS, and PhD. All right. She did research years on that book and put all the facts out there. You can believe it or not, but even with that, none of it has been proven. See, put information out there. How it gets accepted is another thing. You can put the truth out there and nobody cares. Nobody listens. Like, how many people want to listen to what I say half of the time? Oh, he's making it. You can believe what you want, but when the truth hits you, oh, that's too real. That's too this. If it doesn't fit your personality, like, oh, they're bad aliens or they're good aliens, really? Oh, all things are good, like Stephen Greer. All aliens are good. Well, James Gillen. Oh, aliens are good. Oh, they're here to help us. Help us what? Everything only helps their own species, people. When are you going to understand that? Any time in history, go back as far as you want, to the giants, to you name it. They only try to take care of their own species. Not everybody. The little people kill the giants. So, and who killed all the giants? Many other races did. I mean, we were dealing with multiple cities. They just found this other city. They made a sports thing for a couple months, and they redid this whole city that was an ancient city. And then guess what? After it was over, they blew it up. because it was an ancient city. They said they built it in like 6 months. It's a whole city, and they did this carnival thing there for months. And then when they were done, they just blew it up because they didn't want the real truth to come out. But the truth doesn't come out ever. Everything you read is rewritten. The Bible was rewritten how many times? Any story you read, the Book of Enoch, all these different books, the Emerald Tablets. Who rewrote them? The Emerald Tablets were written by one person a long time ago. I don't even think he's alive anymore. But the secret teachings weren't added to the discourses that they sold. I mean, I got them, and then later on, somebody put them up online. People don't respect anything. So in this UFO world, where everybody's trying to get their name and make money on it, they don't care who they got to step on, what they got to squash, or whatever they got to do to get there. All right, and it's sad. Did you say something, Tina?
No, I think you're glitching out, or I'm all right. I don't. My signal's good, but you keep freezing.
Well, that I know happens, but there's somebody talking in the background now too. Just making sure it's not on your end because it's not on my end. But people, people say about time and things. I had my show taken down. I just started the show. I was doing it by myself, a different show, and it just disappeared. The link was taken down. Everything disappeared. I had to redo everything and put it back up. And I called the company. Well, maybe it's this. I said, no, it's not my equipment. I got the top of the line equipment, and it's all working fine. So, everybody wants to pass the buck. Well, it's not us. It's not us. But you mentioned SETI. SETI, there's two. There were two. One was a government-run SETI, and the other one was a privately run SETI. I was friends with the private SETI for about 2 years. A woman, and I was good friends with her. And she called me up one day and she said to me, look, they broke into my apartment. She said the men in black. They came into my place of business and they injected her and the vice president. And they told her, you're not going to be able to do anything about that. And they left. So I know she went out to the reservation with some medicine people trying to see if they could help her. She came back 3 weeks later. I got to talk to her and she said, look, I'm deathly sick. I can't talk. She died about 3 days later. The vice president died about 3 weeks later. So, people don't want to hear, oh, well, who cares? No, that was the real SETI. The government SETI is a fraud. Now, SETI right now said we are having signals. We are getting signals in from space. They're not showing it much, are they? They're not talking about it. They're not talking about the second most deadliest weapon on the planet, CERN, what they're doing, what's happening. They release little bits of little bits saying that something came out of it and things like that, but they're not going to go in detail. Then there's videos of a ceremony, a witchcraft ceremony going right out in front of the building where they kill somebody. That was online for a short period of time. The same as when the president was doing ceremony, Bush and his father were doing ceremony, and they showed it. It was online for about maybe 2 days, and nobody cared what happened when it disappeared. Nobody ever mentioned it again. He had a skull in his hand. And he's walking around this girl on a table and everything else. Guy shot it from the balcony, maybe 30 seconds of it. But again, people, everything's not fake. And the stuff that is, just see how many times it comes out. If you see something 1,000 times, if you see 1,000 ships on the internet, even if only one of them's real, that means it's real, people. I mean, there's people that want to take down the facts, don't want the facts out there, don't want the truth. Think religion wants the truth out there? Any religion wants their truth broken down? Of course not. The Pope said his people said they're going to teach aliens Christianity. I mean, they make a statement to please certain people, like the UFO people. Oh, well, we'll work with them when they come. We'll teach them Christianity. Really? They're coming here to learn Christianity. So, no matter how high it goes, president, vice president, all these great speakers like Stephen Greer, multimillionaires, money doesn't make anything real, ever. Now, I'm going to throw this in, unless you want to say something right away, Tina.
No, I'm fine. I'm listening to you. You're right, Tommy.
I just want to throw this in. I saw an email, came up on my computer. It said, Elon Musk, we want to make people live forever. So Bezos is spending millions and millions of dollars to get scientists to make a cure to make us live forever too. So I click on it, and it was a link for vitamins. and it says these vitamins are guaranteed to heal your brain, your liver. I clicked on that, and it was like 39 a bottle. I said, well, let me get one bottle. And then I went somewhere else. I came back, and I just got rid of it. I said, no, I don't want it because I found a product online much cheaper. And all of a sudden, I get two bills on my computer, one for $177 and one for $67, buying the vitamins. I didn't buy them. I had to call the company up within 2 hours. I called the company. I did this in the middle of the night. I called up in the morning. Oh, well, we'll cancel the order, but it's going to take 2 weeks to refund your money. I said, I just called it in. I didn't even call it in, and you're taking my money. But the system is so screwed up right now. And I mean, I'm talking about Musk. His whole thing's there. The first thing that pulled me into it, because I'm watching what him and Gates are doing, what they're really doing to the planet. But we're in trouble, people, and the aliens are not going to come here to save us.
I'm not sure if I've missed it on the news. Has NASA got that rocket off the ground yet? Has it gone to the moon?
Don't think so. It was supposed to go up again 3 times. They had never a problem. Even when they went to start the engine, it had a problem. I remember the old days. It was held because of the weather one day. Oh, a storm's coming another day. But now it's serious problems with what they built. Don't they test something when they build it? Technology is bad. I mean, where are they getting the technology? The United States or China or Japan? So do they all care about aliens? They all have their viewpoint. All other countries don't hide much UFO stuff. They'll talk about it. They'll say, yeah, we saw a ship. We saw something. Even that went in Russia. They still can't prove whether it was aliens or a secret terrorist group. When his whole crew was up in the ice cap or somewhere, and they were in his tent. The tent was ripped open. One guy was found dead miles away naked. The other one's down, chopped up, smashed. All these horrible things. And they have no clue. They said how it happened to this day. I mean, it's still. I just watched a special on it done like a couple of months ago, and they said, "Well, we checked all the information, but it was radioactive. A lot of the area around there, so that's a good sign that it definitely was more closer to being aliens than some other people. Most people are not radioactive, except Tina.
Thank you very much, Tommy.
She's one of the few people that I know that walk around radioactive. But on the other hand, it's not normal and it's not common. We don't expose radiation to other people. Just so you know, people, all milk in the world is exposed to radiation. All milk, not just one milk, not the ones you see in the containers that are on the shelves for 6 to 8 months. Regular milk. It's a low dosage. Now, our satellites are run on radiation. I mean, radiation is critical for a lot of things, people. And basically, I'll tell you this, what I believe. It's only my belief, people. Aliens need the world radioactive to live here. All right. And when it is fully up to a level that they can live with, they will be here. It's growing. The radiation is expanding everywhere on the planet right now. I drive to town. Wait, Tina. Drive to town.
Someone's at my door. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. All right, Tina. I drive maybe 6 miles with my Geiger counter on. And it goes off every 2 minutes, half a minute, 2 minutes. The one area by the school is radioactive, really high. And I did research. They buried bombs there a long time ago. And the property was useless, so they donated it to the school. That's how people think, people. Do you think people care about people anymore? I doubt it. And when people like Musk comes out and goes, well, I'm sorry, slightly off the topic here, but when Musk comes out, well, people better beware of artificial intelligence. And then a week later goes, well, I'm going to eliminate all the useless jobs. Contradictory to his own self. So, there's a battle going on. And it stemmed from Tesla. He got information from an alien race. I don't know what. I'd do anything to find out what race that is, people. I've been trying. I just went. This woman that claims to be this top super spiritual being, head of the Galactic Confederation. She was the daughter of Mary, mother of Jesus, and all this stuff, right? So I said, I'll pay you if you can answer a question. Well, she goes, what's the question? I said, I'm not going to pay you if you say you can't answer it. Why would I pay you? Well, what's the question? So I told her the question. She goes, well, I think it's a good question, but I think it's not bad. I said, are you insane? She claims that time travel is a really good thing. And she says it's not going to hurt nobody. I said, do you understand what happened when they first did it? Do you understand what's happening now? Do you know anything about a vortex? She's brain dead. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say her name.
There's can't you get paradox as well?
Well, what's happening now, there's another vortex opened somewhere. I forgot. I was just reading about it. And things come out of a vortex, people. All right? It's like saying, let's smash a black hole, go through it, and see what we can find. What do you think you're going to find? I mean, they talk about finding the other opposite side of planet Earth. I mean, that's their belief system. A lot of the people involved with that. We're going to go to our alternate side of us. I mean, like a lot of the movies. I guess they watch too many of those movies to believe it. All right. But we're in a situation, people. UFOs are everywhere. Before I forget, I have a free manual, How to See a UFO Field Manual. It's free. It's about maybe 200 pages, but it's free. It's a PDF file. Read it. I got to go into some things that you might like, but not like. But it's the simplest way to go see a UFO, and it's not. I'm not charging you money for it. Like I said, you just need the facts: how to go outside, how to look at the sky, and things like that. 90% of the things you're going to see are UFOs, not satellites. So again, people, this is about UFOs right now. What I'm trying to do today, because I go out, I see UFOs every morning or every night. She goes out and looks at a property up above her house, and there's ships over her house all the time. So people, there's something going on. Whether you want to say, oh, well, she's making it up, she's delusional. No, she's not. She's one of the realest people I know, and that's the only reason why I keep her on the show with me. All right. She's honest. She's not a liar. She's not a storyteller. She's not out there trying to make money. All right. Neither am I. And I know people hate me. I mean, if I lied a little, if I could lie just a little, I could be rich. I could be out there speaking to all the people, talking about the good aliens and stuff like that. But I can't. I can't tell the world all these spiritual everything's going to become beautiful. When?
That's right, Tommy. I'm going to change my story then, shall I say? All these aliens that take people against their will really aren't taking them against their will. They're not really hurting us and not really ripping chunks out of us and lie through your teeth and say they're all brightness and light, shall we? And then,
Tina, if somebody takes your DNA and creates something with it, you don't think that's bad?
Yeah, it is. And they
If they
do
take
it.
your semen and they take your ovaries and they do take your blood, it's not DNA. They need blood. They live on blood. Even cattle mutilation was all about blood.
They've given me. I don't think they were going to fix me. So when you're laying there bleeding to death, and they rather like just chuck you down a tube and like let you die and move on to the next poor bugger behind you. That's not really a positive light kind of thing, and it's kind of scary that you're going to die and you're defenseless and unable to help yourself. Yeah, exactly, guinea pigs. But but they I think the one that knows me made them fix me, and I don't think they wanted to. I think they begrudgingly tried to fix what they did, and they had to give me clone blood. But there you go.
Well, on that, I just don't want. We're not guinea pigs, Brian. John. We're objects because when you go to a doctor, you're not a guinea pig to the doctor. He's trying to help you. They're trying to help themselves. So when they take something, it's not like they're just trying out. They need your blood. Period. They need your ovaries. Period. It's not like, well, maybe their ovaries are good. Maybe they're not. Maybe their brain's good. Maybe it's not. They would figure that out. Like Japan says they have to take 10,000 whales a year to do research on whales. Do you believe that, people? 10,000. All right. And the number for a lot of things is 10,000. They're allowed to kill 10,000 whales. They're allowed to kill 10,000. The tuna boats are allowed to kill 10,000 dolphins.
One too many, isn't it?
It's just, yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is they're using them for a reason. They got a cannon boat that says testing. Yeah, they're canning it and turning it into whale canned meat. And they're selling it. It's not a test. So, people use words, like man uses words to fit their ideas. How many people know what the word spiritual means? How many people know what the word God means? How many people know what these critical, important words are that man made? But when a man gives it a definition, it takes it down to man's level of thinking. Man doesn't know much about psychic abilities. Not very many people do. But when it comes to aliens, they could go through walls and things like that, but we could too. How many stories all through history where a llama or a spiritual being or something went through and was somewhere else as well? I mean, those abilities are being diminished.
Yeah, we actually do, Tommy. When one of my experiences, there's a bluey green light that filled the room, and this thing, and I'll call it a thing, this thing was no more than 2 feet away from me, and my partner was gone. And there's the bluey green light in the corner is obviously where they'd come from. But they take human beings through that. So there is a way for us to do that because they take us through that.
All right, well, Bud Hopkins, one of his last books before he died, was probably one of the most important books he wrote because basically he didn't see any. He never sees anything, never was involved with, but he had witnesses that came to him that saw this woman taken out of the window all the way up into the ship. Congress was on the bridge, the Verrazano Bridge. All right.
Well, 2 policemen saw it as well.
Well, no, but let me get to all the people in Congress were coming from the meeting in Congress in the UN, and they were going across the bridge, going back to the east, to the Jersey side, and they were all frozen on this bridge. About 10 of them wrote him a letter saying what did they witness. All right. He wasn't allowed to say their names because they didn't want to get that involved with the problem, but they all saw it. I actually got involved with the person that interviewed the cop that said he watched the lady leave the window, go up into the ship. So there was a lot of witnesses during that. But that story didn't go anywhere into his book. I mean, people like to read stories, but they don't care if it's real or not. So, it's time, people. If you see something, get in touch with me. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to open up a UFO center and all this stuff like Stephen Greer is, but I'm going to put the facts together. And look, I put my life on the line always for spiritualism and for UFOs, for the truth about both. And we need it. If I die, I die for what I want to do. I mean, I could die skiing. I could die jumping out of a plane. I could die a lot of different ways. But I want to die doing what I'm doing, and that's writing letters, writing books, and putting discourses out there. All right, of truth that I know as fact. And the only reason why I say know it is fact, I experienced it. I have witnesses with me many times. So it's not a dream, a fantasy. I woke up on the side of my bed, and these aliens took me on this greatest trip I ever went on in my whole life. Really? Guess you didn't go anywhere in your life. You stayed in your room and you just waited on your dreams to see if they got any better.
Oh, dear.
People,
I love you, Tommy.
text me, write me, text me, Tina, either way. Tell us your story. We'll bring you on if you want. If you don't, just give us the story. Don't even have to give us your real name. If you
just
don't
going to reply to John's question about the Queen. However, I'm going to address it. So,
go ahead.
Since our last show with Britain, we've had something historic happen to our country. Sadly, last week, our Royal Highness, the Queen of England, passed away, which has devastated our country. She's been ruler for, I think, 70 years. I think she's been the longest ever reigning monarch. So Britain has lost, our figurehead of our country, our leading lady, and she embodied what it was to be British. But sadly, her funeral has not happened yet, John. So the Queen was brought down from Scotland today to Westminster, where she will lay in state till Monday. I believe her funeral is Monday or Tuesday. I believe it's Monday. But if you look on the World News, they should be able to tell you. But we're in mourning here in England. And the second that the Queen died, Prince Charles III, Prince Charles became King Charles III upon the Queen's death. So he's a monarch at the moment. But the Queen's funeral, she's not been had a funeral ceremony or been buried as of yet. She lays in state for people to go and see and say her last goodbyes to her. So, I suffered, I think everyone's feeling the blow here in the United Kingdom. And it's only fitting that we pay tribute to Her Majesty as well. And she did, her life was her duty. She did what she said. And she left a great legacy behind her. She did what she said she was going to do, never put a foot wrong in all of her 70 years, and she held the family and the country together through lots of things. So we will miss our Queen. But there you have it. Over to Tommy. So if you do have a question for the show, please come on Tommy put his email up in a minute. You can email Tommy or message us. But I think Tommy's right. We do like go into one thing and shoot off at different angles and that, but there is, lots of different spin-offs, lots of different sides to things that people don't look at and how it affects everyday people. I work every day. I'm a tax-paying citizen. I don't go around, bashing other people. If you've got something to say, then yeah, if you want to engage in a conversation, debate, I'm for it. But when there are two sides to every story, and just because you don't like that story, like I said, doesn't make it any less true. If you want to believe anything, then that's up to you. I'm not going to say you can't believe anything, but you're not going to stop me from telling my story. So sorry, Tommy, to you.
My viewpoint on that is always three sides to a story: yours, mine, and God's. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because the truth's there. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it's a different story. A fight takes two people. No, it takes one person. People, two people end up in a fight, but one person starts it. I mean, if somebody walks up to you and punches you in the face, it wasn't your choice to start it or get involved with it. So it's not two people that take a fight; it's only one that starts it. But what's sad, and there's so many things going on, and I think and my viewpoint, it's a circle. That's what this symbol here is. All right, it's a native
Yeah, I can
symbol.
see it.
The circle. All right, the circle of life. Everything it's all together and it comes into the center. So when there's killings, when there's murders, when there's it's relating to something. What's leading children to go out there and blast people away is something's wrong, people. It's not. Oh, they'll say, well, he was abused when he was a child. Yeah, that could be part of it. Probably, definitely part of it. But the problem is we're not stopping it. It's increasing. Over the past 20 years, down to the last 10 years, the crime in the United States, just a couple of days ago, 3 different shootings in 2 days. You'd think people would stop shooting each other. And they want to keep guns in people's hands. I mean, well, up where my other friend lives up in California, a guy was chasing his girlfriend with a sword and chopped her head off in the middle of the street in front of everybody. Well, we're becoming more barbaric. And now that they put a show on TV, they're called the Colosseum. And they're showing how the gladiators and all these different things fought all through history. There was never a time it didn't exist. Even though when they said, oh, we got to stop people fighting, and they killed him. But they stopped it for a while. But then guess what? It went back. And now what do we have now? We have fighting, wrestling, crime. And
Have you seen that last comment?
Who's that?
I have no idea. If there's a reason you'd like to call me names, please come on to the show and we debate whatever issue it seems that you have.
Yeah, that's what you put up, right? Only a fool would put something like that up. People that have to attack people that have no just reason. If you could prove you're better than Tina, that aliens are fake or anything else.
I mean, at the end of the day, why use a fake name and not your picture? Why aren't you just come out and just, it just shows
I
that
just
people
block them. I don't want them on the show. I don't care what they have to say. They're an idiot. They're a fool. So again, people, we don't bring people on the show that have something bad or things like that or have nothing important to say. This is about truth only, people. We're not liars. We're not storytellers. And anybody wants to go against that, please debate me somewhere else, on another show, on Skype, live, on the air, off the air, any way you want. This is a show. We're putting some information out there. Whether you want it or not, don't listen.
If someone has a different side to the story, and they've had an encounter or they've had an experience, then please come on the show and tell us.
Right.
No, we want to debate. Everyone can't have it their own way. We're not saying that everyone's evil and that we're just telling you what's happened to us and how we view things. Everybody sees things differently. That's what the show's for. If you want to come on and say something, please do so. But, there's a way of doing things.
I did a show with TJ Morris for about maybe 12 years.
Yeah, I know TJ.
All right. After that time, in that whole time, we only had one person call in. Oh, I got an incredible story to tell you. And he took about maybe 5-10 minutes to create the story and tell us. And then he goes, you effing fools, it's not real. It was just a blah, blah, blah. So, there's always somebody that has to come out to be that instigator problem. But it's like in school, you always had that one kid that had to stand up and make everybody idiots and make himself look like he's a smart person or a bad person, whatever. But it's and everybody says, well, the world loves each other except a few people. No, more people hate each other than love each other. Sorry, people. You could tell by the actions. We have been escalating the wrong way, people.
I mean, if that's something somebody wants to say, I mean, at the end of the day, you're probably one of those people in those groups that look at the sky. I look at the sky every evening, but I don't put a fake thing on Facebook to come on and challenge someone saying nasty things. Um, so please come and ask a civil question, and we will answer it to our best of our ability. Tommy.
I'm putting my Skype up there as well, people. Just in case you want to talk real, which I like to do. I'd rather talk real.
Tommy talks very real.
All right, it's Hawksblood 11. Friend me on that to talk to me, and then I'll get back to you. I've been getting a lot of now, and this only started within the past couple months. A lot of obscene mail on Skype, my mail, everywhere, and it's even going over to my partner's phone, which is really bizarre. But people, when somebody doesn't like what you're saying, and they got a little bit of power, they'll do everything they can to stop it. All right, now you think
Me and Tommy are upfront and honest. We use our real names. We come on the show every week, and we invite people to come on. So you don't anyone, anyone could come onto the show. You don't need to have a fake account. We're brave enough to be ourselves. Please be brave enough to be yourself and come on to the show. What's Richie had? I bet the war's attracting more than these creatures. Yeah. Yeah. When they see how nasty human beings are to each other, and and you want aliens to come to this world and think we're great and peaceful people when you say things like that live on TV.
I definitely don't want to go into the whole war situation here because it's off topic. Whoever runs China, whatever their main power is, where it comes from, who controls them, it's hard to believe one man can control a country. Uh, Everybody gives them power. That power comes from the people. So when we talk about somebody so powerful, no, it's because people give them power. Including the same way the psychic healer, when they come out to your house, you go to them, you are giving your energy over to them to play with. Nobody's God on this planet. And when they say, oh, you're healed, that's because you're allowing yourself to get healed, but you need somebody else to tell you that. All right. We're all what we are. We're all soul. We're all got a lot of abilities that we don't use or tune into. But that's something different. Aliens, now, Barbara Messiniak put out a book many years ago called Bringers of the Dawn. And she talked about how aliens surround the planet and they absorb souls that go through it. Unprotected souls are in danger. And most people don't even know what that means. It means if you don't have any kind of foundation in some spiritual foundation and what the word truly means, you're a victim. So your soul goes. Why do you think a lot of souls are coming back and haunting the planet? Because they can't leave. They don't know how to, and nobody's there helping them. So, aliens are not much better. If they see all these souls hanging around, they take them. Every war we had, there was always alien ships around it, including Vietnam. I mean, there was more people that admitted that UFOs landed and came down and did.
Yeah, a lot of soldiers on both sides said that, didn't they?
So, but they like dead bodies. They can take all the blood they want. So, cattle mutilation, same thing. Again, people, the truth's there. It's not complicated. You got a TV in front of you. That's not a car. It's not a refrigerator. It's not a baseball bat. It doesn't take much thinking to figure out what it really is. If you're willing to put a little time in everything you think you know and search it out, but don't believe anybody. You could read 100 people, and probably 99% of them are twisted stories. Look at how many times the Bible was rewritten and how many translated a different way. All right? You can't take a sense, the old sense, pass it around the room, and it'll never come back the same. It won't. Everybody interprets things different. They hear things different.
To look at it another way, Tommy, we do this show to help other people that's been abducted. So I don't see the negativity in that. We're here to help other people who's been in the same situation we have. We understand that because we've been in that situation. I mean, I fight for people in other countries that don't have access to the internet, that don't have money, that don't get free healthcare. How is that a bad thing? Please tell me that. We're all human beings. We're supposed to be helping each other. You might not like that we help each other or come out and tell the truth. A lot of people don't like the truth. That's probably what gets me in a lot of trouble. People don't like the truth. So, you come onto the show and you don't even want to be civil or help somebody. We're not. It really eludes me, and then they wonder why aliens don't want to come forward. They don't want to come forward because they're doing what they're doing under the guise of night, and they don't want to come forward and get bees like that. But other things take priority. I mean, Tommy shares his experiences the same reason I do, to help other people. There is nowhere to go. There is no recourse for abductees. So if you want to go out and write reports, so you see things in the sky, that's fine. That's the one night you go out and you see things and you want things to come down, you'll be out there for 7 days a week. These things have happened to us. They've happened to other people, and we're the better off ones because we've come out of it like this. There's other people that's lost more than what we have. So guys, we are on the same team. If you want to ask questions, ask away. That's the best way to learn and educate each other. Ask and help. So, please ask, and, if we can help somebody along the way, that's the whole point of life.
But, watching the sky all the time, you become aware of things that science doesn't understand.
Yeah.
All right. The things I see are completely unexplainable. All right. Oh, it's not a balloon. It's not a lightning ball. It's all these phrases that they came up because they couldn't describe them when they saw them in the first place. So they create a name. Oh, that's bolt lightning. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's that. Because they don't know what creates it. You ever go out, when I was driving down the desert road, you ever see a tornado form right in the middle of the yard or field or whatever, start spinning around and just moving along? It's really crazy just watching that. But when you're looking at the sky and you got a nice view without a lot of lights, you'll see so many things. Now, anything about meteorites and comets and shooting stars, they're all different, right? Meteorites, you can see them for a couple of days by the time they get across our solar system. All right. But a shooting star goes from one side to the other. And then you get all these other weird things. If you watch the sky, you'll learn about them. And I try to describe some of them in my book. There's this black mass that goes over you as well. It could be a hidden ship. It could be a lot of things. But you'll just blackness go over. You could look up. You don't see no clouds, nothing like that going over. But then, like,
so this is a picture outside the top of my house. That's not star or planet in the sky. That's actually an asteroid. We've been watching it for months in the same place, getting bigger and bigger.
They move slow compared to like a shooting star.
Yeah.
Not that it's at the same distance, but
if
again,
we can see that in southern England, that clear. But so that was a foggy night, believe it or not. You can't see the other stars because the fog. But that thing is shining bright, clear night. It looked, but it was actually
wow.
Yeah, and as up close, it looks like that. When you zoom in, it looks like that. But when it turns, I look for a pair of binoculars, and you can see a bluey green tail come off the back of it. So you can see it there quite clearly in the sky. Look how bright the moon is.
Right.
So I'm trying to get a better picture. So there it is there, even with thick cloud. It's shining through the thick cloud just a couple of nights later.
Like I said,
that's scary because it's heading towards us.
Well, I would do anything to have night vision glasses, but they're expensive, people. But I got a cheap little monocular, about this big. I can show it to you. Well. It cost me maybe $125. But what it does is equal to an expensive one, except the field of view is limited. It's small. Yeah. So if you're trying to look at the whole sky, you get to look at 2 stars, 3 stars at a time. But and it's hard to pinpoint a ship going through and things like that. But what I'm going to say is, when it's cloudy, I could look through it and see all the stars. When the sun comes up and you can't see the stars, I can still see the stars. Not in the middle of the day, but like sunrise, I can still see all the stars and everything. It's really cool with those kind of features. I mean, I got infrared, but infrared that I have on that thing's only good for like 100 feet,
Yeah.
so it's not going to light up the sky in the midnight sky up there. But I don't need it to, because I only want to film things that I can see, and what I can see is outrageous. But the problem is, when you're watching the sky, things only appear for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. By the time you get your hand up there with the camera, it's gone. By the time you think about getting the camera, it's gone. So, unless you got a camera with a wide view lens, you could keep it running and film the whole sky or half the sky. It's not really that practical. But what I do is I get what I can. I mean, the coolest things I ever saw, I didn't catch on film. The one that I did, the camera was frozen. When I went to look back, it was just frozen. Nothing moved. I had to shut the camera off and restart it and everything. But and whether you want to believe this or not, people, and I proved it to myself 1,000 times over. I saw thousands and thousands of satellites. So, but I mean ships. Sorry, not satellites. But they have the ability. The second they know you're filming them, they blink
Yeah.
out. Well, you're watching it.
Pretty up suckers, isn't they?
They're gone. All right. Now,
Yeah.
I watched this ship come in. It was a white ball light,
Mm.
and I said it's not a satellite. So I hit it with my laser, and it turned. I had a green laser, and it turned green. And it was about green for about 3 seconds. Then it turned back to white. So I hit it again with the laser and it turned green again. And it was green for about 3 seconds, turned white. And when it turned back to white, it just went, and it disappeared. But
Talk about expensive things. I'm going to show you something now, guys. This was given to me this week. This is a Danish flag, and because I had DNA test done, to show where my ancestry came from. And my mum is 5 or 6% Danish, and I'm like 5% Danish, I think, as well. Got a bit of Norwegian in there, British, and things like that. But this is actually a Danish flag from Denmark. A lady I work with, Lisa, just came back from Denmark, and she's brought this flag back for me from Denmark, as you can see. So thank you very much, guys. And while we're on the subject of things like that, Tommy, where's your Geiger counter?
I was just thinking right now, right over there. But I just want to put this in the thing.
Yeah, that's okay. So, excuse me. So a couple of years ago, because we've been doing, I think it is 3 years now. Tommy's coming into our 4th year. It's got to be 3 years, easy. Well, I was ill, and I've been ill for a while. And Tommy suggested, now everything Tommy tells me, I take on board. He's older, has more experience, and he's normally right. But it gets me in trouble. But there's the Geiger counter. So this is my second one. The first one I dropped. There it is. There, I got it on Amazon. I think it was less than £20. So it says here. I've got to put my glasses on to read that small writing. I do apologise. It says electrical magnetic radiation tester to find it out. So you just pop that button on there. And so at the top, you will see volts per meter, and the bottom is micro Teslas. Now, normally it doesn't read anything, so it could be that I'll have to get my screen checked. Now, I have a smart screen computer. Apparently, it's not supposed to give off anything. It hasn't for a while. And so it's reading electrical, which is normal. You get electrical magnetic background from TVs, phones, and things like that, but not normally from my computer. It's normally one. Tommy has one in Hawaii, and he'll wave you his. You got up a bit, Tommy, up a bit.
Oh no, I'm just looking at something.
All right. So now I'm going to hold it closer to me so you can see the readings. So I'm going to get a bit closer to the TV now. So a bit closer, pull my chair forward. So we're going to put it forward this side.
Mine is reading, when I put it on your picture, mine's reading 263 on the top and 0.25 on the bottom.
So this week is my neck.
Oh man, my screen's got a lot of
And we're
radiation.
going to go down this side. Now I'm going to step away from it. So you can see. Now I'm going to hold it closer to me again. So that's what happens. It doesn't. 95% of the time it happens, and once or twice I've had like readings of 4 point something. I know that's because it says on there dangerous, but it's on there. But to turn it off, just push that button there.
Well, I have it on your picture again. Mine's 30 on top and 35 on the bottom, going up and down on radiation.
So there you go. So just to answer a couple of questions. So Richie's put in there, and thank you for your comments earlier about being nice. I do appreciate that. Putin. Now, when the aliens, these beings took me, they showed me a few things. They asked me to stay with them. When I said it was like on the spot there and then kind of question, and they said that I was brave because I said I wanted to go back to my family, and they said I was brave, and they showed me how I was going to die, and that part of me would live on with what they've taken from me. Yeah, I checked my readings around my home. Near my bed's quite high, but I don't keep my phone or anything up there. So, but I think it's the areas where I sit, man.
Your bed's high in radiation?
So what I was saying is, they showed me that there was going to be a war. It's documented. If you look back in my Southampton case report, and it's in 4 issues of the UFO Truth magazine in the UK, that they told me there was going to be a war in 2022. That's actually documented, and the war would last 2 years, and they showed like grey explosions in the sky and underwater, and a big red cloud thing in London with grey clouds as well. It was quite weird, but that's what I can tell you. But whether I'm not sure what it's going to do to the Ukraine, nobody really knows, and I think it's such a shame in this day and age. Let's have a look what else is on there. Do I check my readings? So yeah, I do check my readings around the home. That's one of the first things I did actually. Check my home, and when it's at arm's length away from me, like from here to the computer screen, it reads. So when I put it on now, the only problem I have is when I'm trying to get a reading and then I bend down close to it. So there it's fine. So if I bent down close to get a reading, or I put my head somewhere, so I can't take when I'm close to something or looking at something and I want to get a reading, it'll go off. So I'm trying to do areas at arm's length to see. So really needs a second person. My partner has helped me, do it. But my, sadly, it went off a couple of times, and my dog that passed away, and his blood test showed, which I have the paperwork for. He had radiation anomalies in his blood, in his system. Sadly.
Well,
I was going to say. My partner, so yes, my partner has it actually. He has it coming out of his, I think it was his kneecap or his foot. He had it, kept going off on me, put it near his kneecap. And it just was going right off on one and on his leg. I think it was his left leg. But yeah.
Well, I just want to throw this in there, John, because
he's coming. He's offered me his knee. He can't see his knee, but I'm going to go in with it on his knee. Oh, not today. Hold on. Oh, that's on his knee. It was 1.25. Come here. Is it just that one? That's his knee. Let's have the other leg. Hold on. Wait for it. There's nothing on his other leg. What's that? Your left leg? That's that left. It's your right leg. It's his right leg.
Tina, did you say you have another implant or no?
Well, I have a. Oh, let me just turn this off. It's going to keep beeping wherever I am. Right, I have a. So I'm just going to turn it on. So this is a metal detector. So it's one you can probe in the ground for people like the gold hunters and diggers and things like that. But I put it on me the other day. I've had nothing that came up, nothing that it's not picking up anything on me. That's not on my hand. So no, nothing. It's not picking. Everything you can see the light is where it see the light. So it's wherever the light is on there is checking. But no, nothing. I don't have a bra on. So hold on. No. Was that your phone?
Yeah, it's my phone.
No, it shouldn't be making any noise. Shouldn't get any noise. Should be making any noise. Let me just turn it off because it's doing upset me now.
Well, I wanted to answer your question about Mr. Putin. Putin is coming back again, really.
Won't turn it off. Who's
Putin
ringing
has,
in?
I don't know, but I'm expecting a call, but you're not leaving a name. But what I wanted to say about Mr. Putin, Putin's working with alien races. He admitted it when he wrote a letter to Mr. Trump 3 months before Trump was elected on Russian TV. He said, "We're working with 27 alien races." Third time they're calling me. Think they need to talk to me?
Might be urgent. Tommy, take the call and I'll go into something else. So, guys, just what Tommy's answering his caller. Next year's an event as a 2023 event in Southampton, in Hampshire, at Bishop's Waltham. It's going to be April the 22nd and Saturday, April 22nd, and Sunday, April the 23rd. It's £30 for a ticket, which is one of the cheapest in England for to come and see one of the guys from Ancient Aliens. You can have your picture taken with him. Gentleman's head. He's president, vice president actually, of ICAR, global community thing, and he's an ex-policeman, so you can come and see Gary Hesseltine there. He will be speaking. Also, David Hodrian, chairman of Birmingham UFO Group, he's been a world investigator, and also he investigates cases from around the world, and I think he's deputy. I believe that Mr. Hesseltine's just spoke recently before the American Senate and has just come back from Brazil. So Grandmaster UV's just popped on. For those of you who are not on and not looking at the comments, I'm an insider from Washington, D.C. They got disclosure out. We have alien bodies, technology, and UFOs already. We have infinite we have anti-gravity sources for lots of millions of pounds, definitely. Yeah, cool. So there's lots of people now coming forward, and the more. Thank you very much for coming forward. Please, if you'd like to come on the show and speak to me and Tommy, please come on. I'm sure me and Tommy will interview you. If you don't want to come on, you can give us any information you have. If you're willing to talk to other people, please let us know. It's about helping each other at the end of the day. Even people looking at the skies. Yeah, we got disclosure out. Yeah, we have, and I think Abductee's been saying that for a long time.
Well, I want to add this real fast. Researchers discover underwater alien civilization in the Siberian waters. It's a video out there right now. See if you can pull it up. I didn't get to watch it yet. It was just sent to me. Check it out. Could be cool. Might be something interesting. But the truth's coming out. Like I said, it's just everywhere. I mean, if a ship pops out of the ground and sticks up in the middle of New York City, guess what? They wouldn't be able to hide it. You can only hide things because aliens weren't that bad a long time ago. I mean, they did things kind of like small, but if they do anything really big, like here in Hawaii, a mothership went over Hawaii, and it was at nighttime, but only a few people saw it.
Because we're looking up more. We're using more advanced technology to look up. People are coming forward now that don't have military obligations, or people can speak to each other. Every little bit. We are all one humanity side here. We're just warning each other and helping each other and sharing information is a huge part of that. So please feel free to come on it. But from me, Tina Bird here in the UK, will find me on here. Our show might be moving due to my work hours. I don't know. It will be on weekly, but it may move to a Thursday. And don't forget, guys, here in the UK at the end of next month, we change the clock, so our clocks go back an hour. So we look at changing times again. But for me, for Tina Bird, it's been a brilliant show for Tommy. And thank you, everyone in the chat room, to come on. Please, guys, come on. Just be nice to everyone in there. You can ask questions. Please ask questions. That's what we're here for. If you have a question or an answer from a previous show, let us know. If you'd like some help and we can't help you and we know somebody, or we can put you in touch or point you in the direction of help, please don't feel that you're alone out there. If you do have groundbreaking news, or you want to share your news or anything about disclosure, then please come on to the show. If you don't want to come on to speak to me and Tommy, you can just print it on the side, send us messages, or Tommy's put his email up before. Please email us. But Tommy, as always, you've been a great host, and thank you very much for this evening. And I shall see you all next week. Please stay safe, and I'll be looking. I'll be looking in the skies again as well. So from Southampton, I shall see you next week. Tommy, thank you.
Pleasure, Tina. See you next week.
Andrew, it's been a pleasure. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. And I'll see you all next week, guys. Stay safe, please. Bye.
Well, Tina Bird, great person. People, look, there's a lot of facts out there, a lot of stories out there, a lot of what the government can do, a lot of what everybody else is doing. But it doesn't pertain to us as normal people living a normal life. It's not going to matter what kind of ships that the government's using to get out into space or try to. But as you will learn, anything beyond our moon is just a theory. They can't prove one thing beyond it. No matter what they say, what they tell you, they got pictures of things out in the billions of miles away and things like that. So what? Prove it. What's it mean? Can you? They can't prove. They're going to try to prove, which they're trying. A black hole is real and what it is, but they'll never find out what it really is. The same as the Big Bang theory. They can't prove that. All right. All these theories that people accept or are learning to accept, forced to accept. I mean, there's people that believe in evolution. There's people still believe in the flat Earth theory. There's scientists trying to prove that it's real. I said I could give you a simple technique to figure it out within one day to prove to yourself that the world's not flat. I mean, it's not complicated, but all right, it would be nice to have power. I'm not much for this planet. I'm on a spiritual quest all my life. It wasn't about learning how to deal with aliens or the government. Both of them are run by aliens and whoever they're run by, and I'll say a name which nobody likes, Satan. But again, this whole world is hell. Thank you. But this world is hell. You don't go to hell from here. You come back here. So when people say, oh, I'm going to be bad and go to hell, no, you're in hell. You're going to come back here. All right. Because this is where you experience pain, suffering, see it created and all that. Can't do that on the next realms, on the higher realms. You can't. And you can't do anything in any higher planes because you probably can't get there either. So there's a lot of interesting, better things than planet Earth and living here forever, which Musk is trying to do, and Gates and Bezos is trying to live forever because they're afraid to die. They want to stay here. They don't know anything else other than Earth. They don't know anything about past lives and death and all those other words. But Tina doesn't like to get in those words either because she doesn't feel that anything spiritual has ever helped her, which it doesn't seem like it has. But we all have karma, people. No matter what you believe, what you follow, what you do, karma is what you create. And the more you create, the more you're going to stay on planet Earth. The less you create, the sooner you can leave it. And to me, that's much more important. Yes, I was next to an alien. Yes, I was next to ships. I was all those kind of things. I was less than a foot away from a Bigfoot. But did it help me? Did it change? It changed the way I think about things and, oh, everything's fake. Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. I know all the stuff that they talk about is real. But the stories get twisted in UFO world. They took the word abductee which Tina is, created a new word, experiencer. And that word turns around and makes everybody think it was a great experience or a good experience. No, you didn't make a deal with aliens to abduct you in this lifetime and all these ridiculous things that people say because they have no clue. But I've been in this all my life. I'm going to be 70 in a couple months. Uh, I don't have to have proof for myself, and I don't expect everybody to believe anything I say. But if you want to find the truth, you can. And just remember that the truth's out there. Just got to look in the right places and see where it's coming from and who's hiding it. Uh, I have both of my shoulders operated on. All right. Problem people, this world isn't going to get better anytime soon. I hate to tell you that. You listen to all these new age speakers and spiritualists. Oh, we're going into the golden age. We're going into beautiful times and all these other words. Well, my friend was the first person to film ships going into Area 51. All right, and that's before they bought all the land around it. He did that for months and months and months until they snagged him there, and then they had to buy that land to make sure nobody could get up there. All right, people, the truth's out there, and it's real. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's a big thing. All right, Area 51 is a base. There's Area 52, Area 53, and Area 54, people. And you don't want to go to 53 and 54 because there's different races there. So, the truth's out there. You want to find it. Otherwise, believe somebody that's in you. Well, I was there. I worked there, and I didn't see anything. I had the first astronaut on my show, and he said they never saw anything on Earth, ever. And then he said, well, we saw weird things in space. That's all he would admit to. Then when I had an actual sighting and everything else, and I called him, he said, oh, I can't do it. And he hung up. Because he's paid not to say another word for the rest of his life. But he's going to live by that. I don't even know how old he could be right now. All right. Very few people on this planet have any real artifact of a real UFO. I know one. I had him on my show. All right. He was giving it to him from his best friend who was killed. All right. Blasting a ship with a weapon. Got a piece of it knocked off and stuff like that. But people, UFOs are real. And they're not all driven by little Chinese people or little Japanese people or munchkins, whatever you want to believe. They're called aliens. All right. And there's multiple alien races here. And the government can't hide that. If you knew anybody important in the government, 3-star, 4-star, uh, highest level of clearance, which I know about 5 people. So again, they don't hide it to me. I mean, I can't do much with their information because I can't prove it. I had a friend that worked in 5 levels down here in the base here. All right. And he told me they actually blasted a couple alien ships from coming into our solar system. But a big war is coming, and they're preparing for that right now. This thing's happened. We had 3 major wars already in space. We had 2 that I know of on planet Earth. I'm talking wars with alien races where we killed them all, but they killed a lot of our people. All right. Again, I always The Day the Earth Stood Still was the best movie I saw on the fact that that's what should happen if there was a good alien race, but there isn't. Making mankind smart and caring and compassionate anyway. All right. I never had problems in my life with what people assume that I'm crazy. You mentioned UFOs, you're crazy. I dealt with it. I worked for the phone company 20 years, and a lot of people hated me because of that. Uh, but when I left, they brought me a cake and they put aliens on it and everything. I left the company. I just quit. Uh, I moved from Jersey out to California. A bad mistake, but I did. Now, when we talk about UFOs, again, my book's free. It's a manual. You go through it, get something out of it. But basically, what I'm telling you is You could look at the sky, and for me, the best time is between 4 and 5, usually, give or take a half hour. All right, before the sun comes up, and you'll get to see a lot of things. I mean, I could go into all those things, but read my book, and then if you have questions, call me, text me, whatever. But there's short spurts in the sky, and it's not a shooting star, because a shooting star starts from somewhere and goes across the sky. But you'll see things come in and out of a cloud with a short burst and things like that. It's not anything that we have, and it's not a natural thing like a shooting star, meteorite, comet. Uh, Meteorites travel slower. I mean, they're higher up in the atmosphere, but they travel much slower. Uh, we can travel at speeds beyond the speed of light, people, whether you want to believe that or not. But people, tune in, call me, text me, whatever. I only deal with truth. I only want to bring the truth out. And if you get something really important to say in the UFO world, this is the place to come. If you want to talk about spiritualism, I do shows every once or twice a week as well. And truth there is really important, but nobody wants to hear it. All right, till next time, till next week. On this show, anyway, I'll be doing a more so a spiritual show during the week about spirit, about death, life, all that. So peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in life. Don't stop until you get the truth, but it's out there. Remember that. Well, if you got people in the force that are behind you, I have a person super high. I can't get into the details, but they watch certain things you can do and certain things you can't do. When you work with a high government, you're restricted in a lot of ways, period. I don't care what people say or even what you think. You're not free. You're not free to do what you want. All right, people. You heard it here. Till next time.